What is up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's live stream. We're talking Cowboys and training camp. All right, this is serious. Cap mode time, baby. You know how we do it. Cap mode time is in full effect. We are talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We've been talking about it all week. The Cowboys getting into shells on Friday, and here we are. They are in the shells, and on-field activities are going on now. So this is very exciting. Best time of the year. It is finally here. Okay. So I love it, man. So lots of interesting topics came from the very first day here. So shout out to everybody in the chat box, everybody that's on here live. I appreciate all you guys. Okay. So there's a lot of fun topics here. We'll get discussions going here, and then I'll take some questions, and we'll hit up a lot of the discussion and some of the comments of the night from you guys. You guys are what kind of drive the conversation as far as how long we'll go tonight. So it's a lot of fun every night with you guys. And without further ado, let's get into the conversation. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to break down the main news, a lot of, all the hot topics, the main talking points that I want to discuss that I think are important coming out of day one of this camp. So let me go ahead and pull up some information here, something that we want to talk about. Okay, so I want to talk about this. So basically, we're going to talk about this. Let me pull this up on screen, guys. Bear with me for 1 second while I get these going. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit this up. Let's talk about this. All right. Aldon Smith. Okay. So we're talking about Aldon Smith. Mike Fisher coming on here saying that DeMarcus Lawrence, Gerald McCoy, and Aldon Smith together in D-line on 11-11 often looked unblockable. Okay. So, this is great. This is something that you want to hear. You want to hear that these guys are making a little bit of a splash right now. You really don't want to come into this like, oh, these new rookies, these new additions aren't really doing what we thought they were going to do. So right out the gate, all these guys, especially the newcomers, McCoy and Aldon Smith, looking unblockable. So that right there, I think is pretty cool. So I do like that there. I love that. So the other thing that we want to talk about, guys, is the possibility. What is this? What is the projection gonna look like? I think it looks very nasty. And I'm getting this from Tony Casillas, former Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle from our Super Bowl run. He came up with this this projected front seven. He put this on his Twitter. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. This is coming from Tony Casillas. Projected front seven. Okay, so we just looked at that tweet there from Mike Fisher saying that these Gerald McCoy, Aldon Smith, and Lawrence looked unblockable. Look at this projected front seven. Your linebacker core, Jalen Smith, LVE, the Wolf Hunter there at middle linebacker. He's gonna have the green dot. He's gonna line people up and that kind of thing. And then Sean Lee, the general, the go-to-goats. DeMarcus Lawrence, Gerald McCoy at defensive tackle, and they have Dontari Poe there. And then Everson Griffin, the newest addition. We got him on a steal. What a player he is. I'm sure everybody saw the video clip of him, excited to be a Cowboy where he didn't blink. He looked a little crazy. But you need players like this. You need a little flair. You need a little craziness on this defensive line. No more finesse players. We need people that have some edge to them. Okay. And I think every single one of these guys on this defensive line has that edge to them, whether it's D. Lawrence, McCoy, Poe, and Everson Griffin. Obviously, Everson Griffin, pretty productive. He definitely has that edge. Like I said, senior defensive assistant George Edwards. I'm pretty sure he signed off on bringing him in here. Knows the player up front. So very excited about that. Let me know what you guys think about that projected front seven. Look at that. That's That's amazing. And we're not even talking about the guys behind them. That's where the Cowboys, I think, have really elevated this team more than previous seasons. The guys behind them are pretty good. So I like that. I think it's a great talking point right out the gate. You know what I mean? Speaking of Everson Griffin, where is he at right now? Right, so he's not on the field right now, and we got an update from that, and we're going to take a look at that here right now. So Everson Griffin not on the field yet, but here's what they're saying. This is coming from Calvin Watkins. Everson Griffin is undergoing COVID-19 testing. He's got to pass 3 consecutive tests taken 24 hours apart before joining the Cowboys. Estimated arrival for Griffin Monday. Okay, a source has said. So that's where Griffin's at. Some might have thought that we signed Griffin. Where the heck is he? So that's the update on Everson Griffin. He's got to pass 3 of these COVID tests before he can get on the field. So no worries on that, guys. He is signed. He is signed, sealed, and delivered. I think they're still figuring out the number. Is he going to have to maybe bribe somebody to get a number? Because there are a few numbers available, but they're all, 47, 53, and some other number that just doesn't really look like a 97. So we'll see if Griffin is going to be able to, to get the jersey number that he wants. But that's where he's at, guys. He will be here. We're talking estimation of Monday for Griffin. He's got to pass those COVID tests. Okay. Now, how about the rookie? Okay. Let's talk about CeeDee Lamb. Okay. I mean, first round pick, bring him along slowly. Was he going to have any impact? Let's talk about him. So let's take a look at this discussion here on CeeDee Lamb right out the gate. Okay. So CeeDee Lamb, check this out. CeeDee Lamb with the one-hand catch, and this is coming from Dallas Morning News. So interesting that he's already making acrobatic catches. This guy just has superstar written on him, man. I mean, from the look, from the swagger, to the way he carries himself on and off the field, the confidence. You want to see that, You want to see that from a first-round pick. You don't want to see somebody that's kind of timid where you're like, I don't know about this guy, But him, he's here, man. He's all business, okay? So I like that. I like seeing that already right off the bat from CeeDee Lamb, okay? Now, if you see some of the coverage from training camp, you're going to see these things here. So let me share this with you guys as well. And we're talking about the tents, okay? And I'm going to expand upon this because I think this is very, very this is an important thing. So you'll see the big tents here, and between the practice fields, Joe Looney said they have water, sports drinks, and popsicles in there to help keep players cool in the 100-degree Texas heat. Okay, yeah. So that's what those tents are. Some people thought that these were like COVID testing staging areas and this sorts of thing. They are air conditioned, and they do have these things to cool, to keep the players cooled down. Okay. So Mike McCarthy, this is really what I want to also expand upon. Had these players practicing from 8 a.m., okay, outside in the elements, the Texas elements. Yeah, it's 82 degrees in the morning, but then when you counter in, the rising temperature as the hour or minutes go by, it's not really in the 80s, right? If you live here in Texas, you know that if it's 80s at night, the heat index and everything that gets figured into, you're hitting a heat index of 100 degrees, even with the 80-degree temperature. So it is 80s in the morning. But what I like about this, guys, and I'm a sole believer in this. You practice in the elements and the heat here in Texas, and you're going to get toughened up. And not that some of these players need to be toughened up, but I'm talking about like physically, more mentally than anything. They talk about the game being more mental than physical. I think getting that heat, getting through the grind is a big part of this. And growing up, I myself would go to these practices at St. Edward's University back in the 90s when the Cowboys were making that run. And Jimmy Johnson had these guys out there in the morning, but he also had them they used to have 2-a-days. They had the morning session, but then they also had the afternoon session, and it was hot as hell. Okay, so I do like this. I like for them to be practicing out here, and it keeps them sharp. It's going to get them a little bit more, I think, conditioned, So the main thing is here, let's get the body going so we can sustain less soft tissue injuries. I think with no preseason, guys, you're going to see a lot of soft tissue injuries in the beginning of the season with the teams that are not prepared. If you have some what they call Wade Phillips camp cupcakes. If some of these teams are doing camp cupcakes, those are the teams that are going to be suffering these soft tissue injuries. Okay, constantly in the air conditioning and this kind of thing, and this and that. For the Cowboys, I love the path that Mike McCarthy has them on. I really do. Like you got to take this into factor. So that is a big deal. That is a big deal there. Okay. As far as who was out here, practicing with the first teamers, everybody wants to know who was out there with the first team. Who's out there? Is the rookie out there? Who this and that? So let's take a look at this here. We got a couple of these that we're gonna talk about. All right. And the first one here is your first team secondary. Okay, this is coming from John Machota. First team Cowboys secondary on the first day of camp. Cheetah Woozy, Anthony Brown. Okay, not Worley, not Diggs. So, and then Jordan Lewis in the slot, Clinton Dix, and Xavier Woods at safety. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is something that we kind of talked about as we went along through the offseason. Who was going to be there opposite Cheetah Woozy, and as far as transitioning a Woozy to safety, it's over. That's not going to happen. He is that number one. Now they're going to figure out the guy opposite of him. They gave Anthony Brown here first look. They did extend him, so they see value in Anthony Brown, and he does have value for the Cowboys. He can play on the outside, can play in the slot. Jordan Lewis in the slot, I love this. I think it's his job to lose, and if he plays how he's been with the opportunities he's done over the last few years, I think he's going to win over these coaches. Okay, he's got a new regime. He's got coaches, and he can show off his knack for the ball. He'll make the tackle. He'll jump a route. He'll make plays. Clinton Dix and Xavier Woods at safety, that's not really a surprise. Okay, so that's who came out here in a day one in the secondary. Okay, guys. So I think that's interesting to take a look at that. Okay. Let's take a look at who rolled out there on the first team D-line. All right. Let's take a look at this. Let's get that out here for you guys to check out. This is really what pops out for me. That's what we're talking about tonight. So here's your first team on D-line. Aldon Smith right out the bat. Let's get him out there. Look at this. Interesting. Tyron Crawford, he did get activated out of PUP. Thank God. I was honestly getting a little bit concerned there about Tyron Crawford, but activated from PUP on the field, and look where he's at. They rolled him out there at defensive tackle. Okay. This is really where the Cowboys wanted to get the most out of him when it came to his contract. They tried to get ahead of the defensive tackle contracts. They tried to get ahead of it. They paid him a pretty good money back when he did. Obviously, fans kind of grumbled because they didn't really feel that we were getting the money, the bang for the buck. But there he is, defensive tackle, first team. So I see Tyron Crawford being that type of, we're talking about previous regime's jargon of flex, position flex. I don't know that you'll really see much of that, but it is good to have. And Tyron Crawford, I do like him there. He does have the good first step and that kind of thing. So he does play with power. He always just seems to be a little bit one step behind getting to the quarterback. He's one of those guys that's almost there, but never gets there. That's not to say that he won't get his sacks. He does get some, but if he was just a little bit faster, his sack numbers would be a lot higher. But man, I think with all these guys in the mix, D-Law, McCoy, Aldon Smith, it's going to be one-on-ones. And if somebody wants to do a double team, these other three players are going to feast. Okay. This is one of the best defensive lines on paper right now before the season starts the Cowboys have had in over a decade. Okay, it really is. You talk back. I discussed this earlier, going all the way back to DeMarcus Ware, Anthony Spencer, Hatcher, Ratliff. These guys. That was a pretty stout defensive line, 3-4, and a little bit of the 4-3 towards the end there. But this is a really good crew to have. And it's all business. You're not hearing a lot about the hot boys. Okay, you're not. I think that has been a little bit. I think they kind of brought that in and just they're not really talking that too much. Now it does pop here and there where they kind of bring the name up, but it wasn't like the last training camp of the last year where right off the bat, merchandise, hot boys, we're gonna do this and that. We got the hot boys coolers and this and that. Right now, new regime. It's all about let's just get into action. Let's get play going. Okay, so that's interesting, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Tyron Crawford there at defensive tackle with the first team on the first day of camp. Okay, pretty interesting, right? Let's take a look at John Manchota's other note here. Cowboys rookie, right here. Cowboys rookie CeeDee Lamb was returning punts and working with the first team offense. Okay, so this is something. This isn't really a surprise. We talked about CeeDee Lamb being in the mix. Him and Cedric Wilson were mainly the ones that were spotted, doing some return work. Okay. Excuse me. I had to get that water in me. Okay, so and working with the first team offense. So awesome. Right off the bat, he's out there making these plays. He's not going to sit. You're going to utilize CeeDee Lamb with his first team offense. You got to get those reps in, okay? Because he is going to be a big part of this offense, this attacking offense. Keep the defense on their heels. So that's really good to hear right out the bat. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the tight ends. Okay. A little bit of tight end news here. It is early. Let's keep that in mind here. But we do have a tweet here that we do want to look at that kind of stood out to me. And this is coming from Clarence Hill. Dak Prescott was 11 of 17 in team 7-on-7 with drops by Blake Bell and Blake Jarwin and an interception. Okay, so, we're talking about giving the keys over here to Blake Jarwin and, the new addition of Blake Bell. Here they are dropping passes. Is this something to be concerned with? Not yet. It shouldn't be right now. This is everybody's getting kind of acclimated and that kind of thing. Obviously, you would rather hear reports that these guys were spot on, catching and snatching everything out of the air. But something to monitor. Okay, something to monitor. The keys are in Jarwin's hands. Roll with it. Catch all these passes. That's really what we want to see. Okay, but not too alarming. But it is a talking point, right? Let's keep an eye on the tight ends because it is a little bit of a question mark. You get rid of Jason Witten, who he knew where he was supposed to be. He wasn't the fastest player. He was already on the backside of his career, obviously. But now you have basically a new group of tight ends. So it's a little bit of a question mark. Who's gonna step up full time? It should be Jarwin, and we want to see him succeed. Okay, so let's see if this turns around. This is not something that we want to. We don't want this to be repetitive where we're getting reports every day, every other day of Jarwin and these guys dropping passes. That would not be good. So let's keep an eye on that. Yeah, it is practice. We're not hitting the alarm button by any means, but it is something to discuss and to keep an eye on. All right, guys? The other thing here that I really want to discuss, and if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been a big advocate of this player. Okay. And let's take a look at this tweet here. Okay. We're talking about none other than Donovan Wilson, the safety. Okay. So Donovan Wilson getting the shot there. So he made an interception. Kyle Yeomans, DallasCowboys.com. I asked him, what position, which safety position was Donovan Wilson playing? Because I think they do have him listed behind Xavier Woods on the depth chart. So in this discussion here that I had with Kyle Yeomans, was he playing the free or the strong today when he made the interception? And Kyle Yeomans said for these plays that he saw, he was the free safety. Okay, so he has picked up where he left off, and we're talking about Donovan Wilson. Let's make a trade. Let's get Earl Thomas last year. Let's go ahead and blow a bunch of picks on Jamal Adams this year. Now Derwin James is in the conversation. Buda Baker, can we please home grow our own safety and see if he can blossom into something? Okay, I think we have something here in Donovan Wilson. There's something to be said about a player that keeps making plays. Okay, it's kind of like Romo when he was coming up as an undrafted guy, and they gave him a little bit more shots in the preseason. You kind of saw this guy might be something for us. Maybe he can push Drew Bledsoe. Maybe he can be something for the Cowboys, right? Because they went through Drew Henson, they went through Quincy Carr, they went through all of these guys, right? Same thing with the safety position. Cowboys have been going through. It's been churning. They haven't found anybody. I think the most money they've spent on a safety was Ken Hamlin. A few years ago, they gave him a big contract, and then he kind of just fizzled off. That wasn't a good investment for the Cowboys, and they just been struggling to find a safety. Whether that's just been them not really wanting to invest high picks at the safety position, or what have you. Okay, I think that's obvious. We had the opportunity to pick up some safeties in the previous draft, not this one, but the previous draft. And that's where a lot of the discussion was we should have got this safety, but we got Tristan Hill and this and that. All you guys remember that conversation. Okay. But Donovan Wilson, to pick up where he left off right now, you got to love it. You got to love it. Could he push one of these guys? This is going to be a real deal. Okay. Now, it might come into it might come down to the experience. They might start out with, Clinton Dix and Xavier Woods, but maybe as the season comes along, maybe they feel a little bit more comfortable playing Donovan Wilson a little bit more. Maybe they have him in some sub packages. Okay. So I love this about Donovan Wilson. I hope that he can continue on that great career arc. Luke Gifford looked good out there today as well. And actually, Tristan Hill, actually got some pretty good kudos that I read on out there today. So Tristan Hill actually, doing his thing. He's that's what you want. Okay, you don't want Tristan Hill to be a one and done. You don't want to kick him out of here and get rid of him yet. Let's see what this new regime can do with Tristan Hill, and go from there. Because if you can do a homegrown on that interior of your defense with Gallimore and Tristan Hill as a future to eventually take over from McCoy and Dontari Poe, you're in business. Then you can keep drafting behind these guys and just keep that depth coming, man. Okay, so I think the Cowboys have a pretty good plan in place here. New coaches, DeMarcus Lawrence loves what Marinelli gave him over the last 5 to 6 seasons, but he's very happy with how Coach Tom Sula is coaching him up with new techniques. Okay, go check out his post training camp press conference if you didn't get a chance. Go check out DeMarcus Lawrence's press conference. It's pretty good. It's got some good info in there. But he did talk about liking Tom Sula, learning some new techniques, going up against a player like Tyron Smith, keeping him sharp, getting ready for the season. But very, very interesting first day, man. Let's see what everybody's got here in the chat box. Shout out to everybody that's out there, everybody here that's watching this live. Shout out to everybody here. The Lunatic, I see you out there. Donnell Jenkins, Cowboys fan 421. Thank you, brother. I see you out there. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Puro pinche Cowboys, the lunatic road to 6. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cowboys. Yes, yeah, man. It's one of those days, man. It's great when these things can come out because everybody's glued to what's going on with that. So let me see what else you got out here. Yeah, we talked about the front seven. Like I said, I think that's it has the potential to be a very good front seven. Okay, if you missed that, we'll take another look at that. So the front seven, the projected front seven. I got this from Tony Casillas, and it's a beautiful thing. Jalen Smith, LVE, Sean Lee, DeMarcus Lawrence, McCoy, Poe, and Everson Griffin. I mean, that's a pretty big difference from what we had even from last year. This has almost been revamped. Mike McCarthy is putting his thumbprint on this team right out the gate. You know, yeah, you do have to, obviously as a new coach, you have to work with what you have, right? But you do want to put your thumbprint on this, and we are seeing that. Look at all these players that they brought in here. No nonsense. Like I said, he wanted to get out here and practice in the elements in the Texas heat. Yeah, because it's hot, man. It is hot as hell out here. I don't care if it's 82 on the thermostat with all the humidity and everything that you put into place. And not to mention running these crazy drills. Anybody that's played football and done 2-a-days growing up, you know how it is. But at the pro level, Texas heat, Dallas, you're right in the thick of it. You're right in the thick of it. Yeah, Cowboys fan talk. Front seven is ferocious. Yes, sir. It is. Why not Jalen in the middle? So Donnell. So LVE has moved over into that middle linebacker position, and Jalen Smith. They're gonna let him be the Notre Dame Jalen Smith. And what I mean by that is they're gonna let the middle linebacker do his thing. Those big behemoths in the middle of that defense are gonna open up a lot of the seek and striking, hitting that A and B gap with ferocity. Jalen Smith, he'll hit the crap out of you. He's gonna lay the wood on some people and stuff some runs. It's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to see it. I think that's it's a really good evaluation from this coaching staff making that move. Put Leighton Smith. I mean, not Leighton Smith. I'm combining the players. Come LVE at middle, Jalen Smith, your seek and strike linebacker. So I love it. You got Sean Lee, okay, and then you're going to sprinkle in some of these other players. Obviously, Joe Thomas will be in there. I'm sure he'll get some snaps, and Luke Gifford, I think, will get some of his snaps as well. Yeah. So Tristan Hill, 97 over to Everson Griffin. We'll see what happens there. You know, if that's the case, we might see some musical chairs with the jersey numbers. Okay. Tristan Hill did have number 79 before he got 97. So we'll see what they do there with the jersey number. I think that's going to be interesting. Let's see what else we got here in the chat box. Appreciate everybody out here. Appreciate everybody here. Poe will start when healthy. Yeah, so hopefully he will get back here. He is still on the pup action. Unlike Crawford, we just talked about, they activated him immediately. Dallas Cowboys fan 1980 is in the house. Hit him up on a subscription if you haven't already. A load of talent on offense and defense. We should be very hard to stop on both sides of the ball. Dallas Cowboys 1980. I agree. I mean, with the talent and everything that they're doing right now, practicing in these elements, it's going to make them mentally battle hardened before they even go into battle. So I love this. I mean, it's just a really underrated part of what Mike McCarthy is doing here. I think it's going to pay off in big dividends, mentally, physically, conditioning, and that kind of thing. So that's great. That is really, really good. We'll see what else we got out here with you guys. The lunatic. Pick your poison on offense, lead the road to 6, while our defense will shut teams down. So, yeah, we're going to be a handful, guys. You know, we are going to be a handful. The defense was already good last year. Top 15, 13, wherever we were at. We weren't, I mean, it wasn't a bad defense, but it wasn't enough to win a championship. And I keep saying this. You got to have an elite defense to really get you over the hump. It can't be good. It's got to be great. Okay. We can't have a good defense. We got to have a really badass, great defense. Headhunters, intimidators, the baconators in the middle, stuffing that run. You know, the days of Gurley and these other guys running all over the place on us and whoever, young quarterbacks picking apart the secondary. Those days are over. Okay. Mike McCarthy's going to have this team prepared. He's not going to just sit there and let the team, the opposing team, dictate what they're going to do. We're going to dictate. We are going to dictate. This star right here is going to dictate what we're going to do to teams. Okay, I feel confident about that. You guys should be too. It's an exciting time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Donovan Wilson might be a gem. I think he is going to be a gem for sure. You know, just stay healthy, keep doing what you're doing, be in the right place at the right time, make those plays, and you will get noticed by this new staff. Okay. He showed it for the other regime. He's already shown it for the new guys. He has his coach from A&M here in the mix as well. So this is a really good mix. It's a good place for Donovan Wilson. Anthony Lavelle, thank you. Almost missed the show. God, I love it. Love the channel. Keep it up. Thank you, Anthony Lavelle. Appreciate you being an awesome supporter of the channel and everybody that's watching live right now. Appreciate all you guys in the discussion in the chat box. Shoot over some questions. I'll hit them up as I scroll through these. I'm trying to catch up to them. I'm trying to catch up on the discussion here that you guys are having. Okay, so Gary Bowman, do you know when we'll get any more live training camp? So the Cowboys kind of shut this down last year with doing the live training camp. And it, they kind of said it was more about they didn't want to give away too much to the opposing team because the opposing team, they do scout these other teams, with these types of reports. They will look at the film and that kind of thing. So they shut that down last year. And really what we're getting is post camp, shots. We're getting B-roll footage, we're getting after the fact and that kind of thing. This is funny. The lunatic has Joe blinked during the stream. Yeah, I'm blinking, man. I'm not like Everson Griffin. That was funny, man. That Everson Griffin tripped me out, bro. When he was saying, "Hey, I'm glad to be a Cowboy," and this, he didn't blink, and his eyes were wide open, dude. He's got some edge to him, man. That guy's he's got a little bit of craziness in him. You can tell, but we need that, right? This defense needs that. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Cannot wait. Robert Radford. Yeah, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Wolf Hunter. Yeah, so the Wolf Hunter, actually, Jane Slater said that he looked really good. They did show some B-roll footage of him hitting the, hitting the dummies and that kind of thing. Putting it out there. He looked good. Really, you're going to have to see how he looks when he starts hitting other people across from him. Okay, so it's an ongoing thing, but it's really good to see him looking bulked up. He looks strong. He looks ready to go, playing fast. So I like seeing that early on. Great report from Jane Slater on the Wolf Hunter. Okay. Looking good. Hit them likes. Yeah, everybody hit like on this video if you're catching it live right now. If you're catching on the replay, hit like on this video. It helps out the channel immensely. And we're talking Cowboys. So who doesn't like talking about the Cowboys? And that's why everybody's here watching this. So let's see what other questions you got up in here, guys. The D-line looks like it has a good rotation. Yeah, I think it has a really good rotation. That front seven. And I really like the depth, and that depth keeps getting a little bit more icing on the cake. Before we even had Everson Griffin in the mix, you had Aldon Smith. Okay, so Aldon Smith, Everson Griffin, D-Law. Do we get Randy Gregory at some point of the season? It's possible, but I don't think the Cowboys are holding their breath on it. If it happens, it happens. it could still happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there with that. But you have a lot of players that are in the mix there, and Neville Gallimore, I think he's going to be a player there as well. Tristan Hill. So this defense could be very, very stout. It should be. It should be. If it's not, it's going to be very, very disappointing. But I think that Mike McCarthy's making a statement here with the defense. So you got to love that. You got to love that. Let's see here. What else you got here in the comments, guys? I'm just trying to catch up and scroll through here. Here we go. Gary Bowman. How long until starting corners get shaken up? Diggs starts. Okay, so I think right now you're probably going to get a look at more of the veterans a little bit early on here. Now, they do have 14 padded practices. Okay, 14 padded practices. We have 20 days remaining of training camp, and you have 14 padded practices remaining. So that means that the Cowboys will have some days here where they're not going to be in full pads, but the rest of the way, these guys are going to be in pads. They're going to be outside. I'm pretty sure, maybe Mike McCarthy will give them a break and they'll go into the Ford Center and practice indoors. But I like what they're doing right now, practicing outside. So, Diggs. Actually, Diggs, I saw some reports on there that he actually looked pretty good as well. They like his length. Obviously, they have a lot of good things to say about him. So, very good indeed. Is there a video of CD's catch? No, there's not a video. They just have the pictures from Dallas Morning News. As far as I know, none of these people were able to really break out their phones and do videos and this types of things. That they have it really locked down as far as that goes. I think if we do get something from there, it's probably going to come from .com, from the mothership, from DallasCowboys.com. So if you want to get the footage from them, they're probably going to be the ones that will be the ones publishing that. Who do you think will be the starting DBs? Okay. If we're talking about the starting DBs during the season, I think it's going to be Cheeto Awuzie, and I like Jordan Lewis at the slot position. Now, who's going to be opposite Cheeto? I think it's going to be up in the air. But if you look at what they did out here today, they rolled out Anthony Brown with the starters. Okay, so this is all about let's see what this guy looks like. Let's see how he looks with the first team. I think you're going to see some rotation there over the next couple of days of who's starting with the first teamers, right? Maybe tomorrow it's going to be Worley, okay, with the first teamers, or maybe it's going to be Trayvon Diggs. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see. Just a little bit of a sneak peek of who they want to really look at a little bit more. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that one there. Take some of these with a grain of salt as well with the reports. We don't want to really fall in love. We talk about this every season. You don't want to fall in love with some of these reports. Like we always go back to the Ryan Switzer reports, in training camp. We all fell in love with, he's turning heads. He's doing this and that. He's going to be playing. They're going to put him on the field with Beasley, and we're going to be unstoppable and this and that. So, and then at the end of the day, nothing happened. He was more of just a backup player and your punt return player. So we do want to keep that in mind. We do want to keep some of these expectations a little bit tempered and a little bit realistic. But they are still really good to read. You do want to see positive news. You don't want to hear negative things really where people are dropping passes. Like I said, with the tight ends, like I said, we don't want to see that to be repetitive. Okay, it's still early. I'm not worried about it at all right now, but it is an example of something that you don't want to see repetitively. Okay, you don't want to see that repetitively. Okay, because then if that happens, then you will see the conversation of, are we going to make a trade for a tight end? Do we need somebody else? So we'll let this thing play out. Not worried about it right now, but something to keep an eye on. Okay. confident in our corners to cover wide receivers like Hopkins and Julio Jones. Okay. I do. And the reason why is because of that front. Okay. I think that front is going to really open up opportunities for the secondary. Like I said, errant passes, hurried passes, tipped passes, everything. You know, with the pressure up front, you see more of the secondary. Now, you know, a good example of this is obviously with the Seattle Seahawks and the Legion of Boom. These guys had a really awesome secondary, but it was a lot of the contributors were that front. Okay, that front seven. Bobby Wagner at linebacker, that defensive line getting pressure all the time, a pretty stout middle that could play the run really well. The Cowboys, what they have right now, have this type of opportunity. This defense has the opportunity to be special. Okay, and that's what you need if you want to make a championship run. You got to have some special. You got to have some magical essence around your team. Whether it's just an unstoppable offense like the Rams, you know, the greatest show on turf. We remember that. You remember the great defense of the Seattle Seahawks and the Ravens. The things that you remember are the magical moments of a team. If the Cowboys can have a special defense, something that you remember, and a crazy offense, you have a great recipe for success. Okay, so I think that's where we're at, guys. A really great discussion here. I won't go too much longer here. If anybody's got some more questions here, I'll answer them here. Here we go, Jim Becerra. You think we're going to go with McCarthy's style or more plays? Okay, so I've said this from the beginning. They do have, you know, Kellen Moore. Obviously, he has the title of offensive coordinator, but don't get it twisted. This is Mike McCarthy's deal. This is his baby. And like I've said, they're going to game plan. He's going to prep these players. And I think with the headset, I honestly think this is how it's going to go. It's going to be McCarthy talking to Kellen Moore and say, "Give me a run right here, okay?" And Kellen Moore, "All right, here we go. We're going to run this play. Give me a pass right here, Kellen. Okay, okay." So I think that's how it's going to be. I really don't see it where it's just going to be Mike McCarthy there watching the game. Okay, he's going to have his input and that kind of thing. And I think it's a great combination. So I think we're in good shape there. I'm not worried about that at all. Okay. Do you see the Cowboys playing the Buccaneers in the playoffs? Okay. I have a good feeling that we're going to be there. Will the Bucks be there? You know, there's a lot of expectations for the Bucks. You know, Brady, Gronkenstein, and they have all these other guys. Godwin, the defense, I think it's up and coming, and that sort of thing. So I don't know. You know, it's a long season to go. We do have to we can't forget that the COVID crap is still out there. You know, some of these teams at some point will be affected, and it's all about which team is going to be able to handle this the best. Okay. They asked DeMarcus Lawrence about the bubble that they created their own bubble here. The players are staying at the Omni right there, right at the Star in Frisco. Okay. And it's all about the team. You know, they asked him who came up with this decision. Was it the coaches? Was it the leadership council? And DeMarcus Lawrence said it was the team. The team came up with this bubble idea. You know, we're in this together. They want to build that brotherhood, build that camaraderie. Man, I love it, dude. If you missed that DeMarcus Lawrence press conference, go check it out. It's really good, packed with little tidbits of really good news and things that you want to hear from him and what he's seeing. So you gotta check that one out, guys. But yeah, man, if we can get into the tournament, whoever we play, I feel good about it. So we'll see what happens there, man. Who do you think will be the most productive player on the team this year? Who will be the most productive player? That's a great question. Ideally, you want everybody to feast. Okay, so could it be Dak Prescott being the most productive player? Because he's going to be the one delivering this off. Mike McCarthy says they want ball distribution. That's what they preached at Green Bay. And you saw that. Aaron Rodgers, Greg Jennings, the tight end, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams. It didn't matter who was on the field. Somebody was going to feed. Somebody might have a 150-yard game one game, then the next game it's somebody else. So ball distribution is going to be the key here. So who's going to have the most productive season? I'm going with Dak Prescott. Okay. He had a lot of yards last year with this offense. What is it going to be this year? Okay. That money's coming for Dak. He's going to get that bag, okay? I mean, it's just going to happen. You know, I feel good about it. Like I said, he's going to get that money. I mean, this offense is too stacked, okay? So for me, I'm going with Prescott. Who do you guys think is going to be the most productive player on this team? That's a great question. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the chat box. Who do you think is going to be the most productive player? I'm going with Prescott. Too many weapons. It's good stuff. Appreciate you guys. I do. I really do. Let's see what else we got here. Don't want to comment on Westry. I see it. It's all good. I mean, I read the report there on Westry. He's a long shot, man. We gotta be realistic about this deal, okay? He's not gonna play opposite Chido Awuzie. He's gonna have to make the team on special teams to be a part of the starting lineup. Okay, so we gotta be real about this type of deal. Unless somebody gets injured, that kind of thing. He did do some things last year, but this year, yeah, I understand that he made a play here and there. It is early, like I said. It is good to see that he is making strides. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing there. But that's the deal there, man. Let me know what you think about that. Okay. If we have 3 1,000-yard receivers, it'll be a big opportunity for Elliott to rush over 2,000 yards. Okay. Elliott rush for so that'll be interesting. I mean, that'll be the greatest show on turf 2.0. I mean, if you got 3 1,000-yard receivers and then you have Elliott rushing all over the place, which is quite possible, you're probably in the big game. Okay, it's just too much to stop. Okay, and that's what the Rams were. Okay, high powered, high potency distribution to all those receiver. Holt, Isaac Bruce, all those guys, Marshall Faulk in the backfield, Kurt Warner throwing the ball all over the place. It's quite possible, man. It is quite possible. I mean, if that happens, yeah, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. Do you think Aldon Smith has a shot to start? I do, but it's probably going to be more of Everson Griffin opposite, DeMarcus Lawrence, only because he's fresh off the 2019 season. He's ready to go right now. As for Aldon Smith, you got to see it right now. They're going to work him into the rotation. But if it were for my money, if I were going to be a betting man on this, I would go with Everson Griffin starting opposite DeMarcus Lawrence. But you're going to have Aldon Smith in the mix. They could have him situationally, pass rusher, stand him up as they're going to have different looks. Okay. It's not going to be a base 4-3. It's not going to be a base 3-4. They're going to mix it up. You might see a 3-4 type of hybrid alignment. They stand them up, rush the quarterback. So it's going to be they're going to have a place for him. I can say that for sure. And the depth, you got to love it. You got to love that depth. So I think it's a good deal. Mahadil 7. What are your thoughts on Donovan Wilson, the guys that baller to me? Yeah, so we talked about this earlier in the stream. Donovan Wilson he's picked up where he left off. You got to love it. And that's what I love. I really liked him last year. I've talked about him all off season. And let's see where he goes from here. Can he stay healthy? That's what kind of knocked him out. If he can stay healthy, I think he has a good shot at, eventually cracking into the lineup. And yeah, it could be one of these players. He's versatile. Like I said, they had him at free safety when he made the interception, according to Kyle Yeomans out of DallasCowboys.com. So he can play strong. He can play free. Wherever they want him at, he's going to make plays, okay? So you want a ball hawk. You want somebody that's going to get the ball and that has a great sense for the football. And if that means playing the better player, you got to play the better player. You can't play the player with name recognition. Okay. Yeah, they did pay Clinton Dix more. Xavier Woods is the incumbent, but if he can crack that starting lineup, let's roll with it, man. I don't want to keep talent wasting on the bench, especially if he's the future. Xavier Woods, he's on his contract season, so do they bring him back? I don't. For me, I'm not so sure that Woods comes back. I think they might let him check the waters. And you got Wilson there. You got him sitting there. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. But great question. I do like him a lot there, man. I think it's really good. Ace Payne, are the Cowboys a playoff contender this year? On paper, they are. Okay. You got to be confident about this team. Mike McCarthy, this new program, everything that they're doing right now is pointing upwards. This isn't the same old. He's already doing a lot of things differently, practicing outside, like I said, and a different type of schedule, a different type of leadership. The players are already, coming to him. They see him as the leader. He walks around here as the leader of this team. So I'm not so sure that you had that with Jason Garrett. I think they really did see him as just somebody that was your head coach, but I wish I had somebody else. And now they do. They have Mike McCarthy, and I'm happy about it, man. I'm happy that McCarthy got here with the Cowboys. I had whenever this whole thing was coming down towards the end of the season, I gave my videos, my thoughts on who might be one of the coaches. McCarthy was on my list. But remember, there were other people in the discussion. Urban Meyer was in the discussion. Riley from Oklahoma, he was in the discussion. Where would we be at right now if one of those guys were here? I think you would have some question marks still, right? If Urban Meyer were the coach right now, you would have questions as far as is he going to work out here? Okay, we know he had success in college, but is he going to work out here in Dallas? With Riley, the same deal. Has some success at Oklahoma, but how is he going to do here? Are they going to look at this guy more as a puppet, kind of like Garrett, or they respect him but not too much? I think with McCarthy, he garners that respect. He's got the ring, he's got the champ, he's got a Lombardi, he's got the resume. So the players, they want that. They know some of that's coming into the building with a winning pedigree. That's what you want. Okay, so yeah, I think the Cowboys are a playoff contender. Anything less would be very disappointing. I could say that. You know what I mean? But shout out to Henry Hill out there. I see you out there, brother. Another one of our peeps that's out here. Adopting. He's ready. Yeah, he is ready, man. Yes, this is a great question. Ronan the Voice. Why do we always settle for a lame backup for Tyron Smith? This is something that I have, and I don't mean to laugh, but I say the same thing. Whether it's a Cameron Fleming or who is it now? Cameron Irving, he's not any good. The guy's a first-round bust. They're just kicking the tires to see what he is. Is Cameron Irving more of a camp body? He's got to beat Brandon Knight out. Brandon Knight is coming along really well. Would Brandon Knight be a lame backup? I'm not so sure. I do like Brandon Knight. But as far as the free agents that they brought in, yeah, like a Cameron Irving or one of these guys, not impressive. But let's keep an eye on Brandon Knight. I think you might be a little surprised about him. So we'll see there. But that is a good question. Yeah, it is a really good question. Let's see here. Yeah, left tackles don't grow on trees. That is true. They are hard to find. That's why. Let's see how long we can ride the Tyron Smith wave before it settles, before it hits the beach and it's over. So let's keep riding that wave, man. He still has some some youth to him. He is getting at the 30 mark. So we'll see, man. I think with Tyron Smith, you let him finish out the contract unless he tells you, Coach, I can't play anymore. I can't move. My back is just too jacked up. You guys should look into getting another tackle here. Tyron Smith to me is a stand-up guy. I think he's the type of player that would do that. Like say, hey, I don't know how much longer I have in here, but we'll see. But great comment there, nevertheless. Great comment, guys. Appreciate everybody out here watching this live. Great discussion. We talked about everything here on day one. If you guys want me to come back Monday to do this again and do another recap of the practice, the next practice, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat box. Hit like on this video if you haven't already. Hit a thumbs up if you love the Dallas Cowboys chances this year. If you like the content here that we're talking about here. And like I said, in the beginning of the video, it's all about you guys. Really great commentary in the chat box. I see all of you out there. I can't get to all of you. I do try to get to all the comments. So if I don't see you and I don't highlight your comment, it's not that I don't want to. It's just I'm trying to get through all of these. And that's a testament to you guys. So I appreciate the love, everybody out here. But I think that's it, guys. I do appreciate you. And I'll be back here. I am working on a really cool video. A really, really good one that you guys are going to like, but I'm taking my time on them because it's going to really hit home as far as this season and the message of this team. So I'll be working on that along the way and discussing the Cowboys training camp 2020. But that's all I have right now, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you guys have a really great rest of your Friday. Thanks for joining me here for a little bit part of your Friday night. I do appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to all of you. And, we'll see you. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace, everybody.